How you doing? How you doing? And how you doing, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Patty. First off, thank you so much for stopping by today. I appreciate that face. Hope you're doing good. And before we get too deep into this guide, I gotta tell you the most important thing you can possibly do as a Scythe player is dump about 40 paint cards into making sure you unlock a dark color for your outfit. Because if you ain't looking spooky, you might as well just change class. Get out of here. What's up everybody? Hope y'all doing good today. We're basically going to be doing a guide on Scythe class because it's going to be coming out here in a few days. We're going to touch on some things that we've talked about in some of the other videos, but also in this one get a little bit more into like rotations and how you want to balance, you know, using your skills and everything like that. So we're going to get a little deeper than we have before. Before we get into all that, I recently found out on YouTube that depending on how many of your first subscribers like and comment on the video, then determines how much it gets pushed out from there. So I'd really appreciate you guys liking and commenting on the video. If you ain't subscribed already, hey boo, how you doing? I'd appreciate your face. All right. Oh, and the Discord will be up tonight. I'm going to make a separate post from my page and everything, giving the link to invite people to the Discord. So make sure that you're subscribed. And then on future videos, we'll be plugging it and we'll have the invite and linked in the description. So that'll be out later today. This video will be out probably several hours before that happens. So keep an eye out. It's hard, okay? I'm doing all this by myself. So let's go ahead and get into this guide. So obviously the most important thing is you have to look Scooby. You have to look Scooby. Get some ears, say Rut-row a whole bunch. It'll be great. No, spooky. You want to look spooky. That is the most important thing. After that, let's probably look at the core first. So there's two things that you can do here, and it's going to depend if you're, you know, like a brand new player or... All right, so let's first talk about if you're a brand new player. You can do one of two things. Go for all red or all green, which Petty didn't do. If you're someone that's been playing and you have a core that's built for damage from other classes where it's, you know, a mix of red and green, that's going to be great on here. I invested a little bit into water. And from a lot of the stuff that I'm now starting to see from the CN side, shout out to Yujia, this isn't as important. You can go this route, but CDR really only impacts the really big 90-second skill cooldowns that you have. And the amount that you would have to invest in those, you still wouldn't be getting that down all that much to be able to use it. So you want to stay more on the side of going for damage. So you can do 9 fire, 5 wind, and then 2 water, or you can go 9 wind, 5 fire, and then 2 water. So you don't really need constitution. You can get that, you know, your defensive stats for like HP and defense from other things like your motors, your gear enhancements. Real quick note on gear enhancements. I heavily recommend, especially if you're a new player, to spend wisely. You don't want to just like pick 2 of these that you think look real pretty and level them all up to wings. I leveled this one all the way up to wings because it gives us a considerable amount of magic attack and then almost 1,000 CDR. I didn't need to do that. That was a waste. Don't do what Petty did. It's much better and you get much more stats from investing in it equally across the board. So, all right, now that I've got this one up to orange, now my next focus is going to be leveling all these purple ones up to orange. And you want to incrementally increase them that way because the amount of stats that you get from all of these is substantial. And the amount of stats that you'll get from just investing in one, especially when it starts costing like 3 or 4 souls to upgrade, you're not going to get anywhere near as much stats. I've tested this out on alts, and when heavily investing into like 1 or 2, I'll get like a rating of like 1,700 to like maybe 2,200. Whereas if I diversify my investments, like they always tell you to do, we're sitting much higher and everything. So definitely a big thing there. And then allies, this is a CN alt account, so I don't have a whole bunch. But again, since we're valuing damage in the core, allies that are going to help you do more damage. You know, Ming, Eerie, No-No, some of the 5 stars that have crit damage on them, College, Chime Gen. You know, there's definitely, you want to lean more towards offensive allies for sorry, not Gunslinger. Woo! You want to go for more offensive allies for your Scythe. So let's go ahead and talk about skills real quick. So one of the things that I actually have pulled up on my computer right now is, and if you've seen our other videos, we've looked at this quite a few times, where we've got Yujia, who did an amazing job translating stuff and is still updating it to this day. Like, this is all new stuff that I wasn't here the last time I was looking at it. So this is a great resource. Yujia, you absolutely killing the game with it. This is the easiest, fastest way I have to talk about some of the skills. So there's a few things that we want to touch on. So your 2 forms are essentially, you know, your contract with the Raven Spirit, which is the the purpley pink one here. This mode, you regain mental energy. Mental energy is this little flower icon up here. All right. When you're in your Tomcat form, you're essentially spending mental energy, and your Raven form is regaining that energy. And there's a couple of things there that, you know, we want to pay special attention to. So the Chain of Nightmare is one of the most important skills on your Raven side. Reason why is every time you hit the target while using this skill, you're getting back energy. It inflicts continuous magic damage on up to 5 enemies for 5 seconds. So this is essentially free AoE that you're getting while you're recouping stuff. You need to make sure that you're keeping within a 15-meter distance, otherwise it'll break. If you stay in that 15-meter distance the whole time, it'll fear the target, if they're the type of targets that can be feared. I don't think it works in PvE. And then it has a 7-second cooldown, and we'll touch on why that's important when we actually go into showing you some rotation stuff. Then the other stuff on here is there's a teleport that's on each side, and then it's a mix between like a defensive cooldown and like I'm trying to play a trick on you. So in your Raven form, you have this skill, recovers your HP back to the amount it was 2 seconds before you cast this skill. That's very important. You can use this defensively if you just got jumped in PvP to regain a good amount of health back. And then it basically creates a like a clone or a doppelganger that walks forward, and you can, you know, teleport away in another direction, and if they continue to chase you, then you can take the spot of your clone, or if they stay on your clone, you can now, you know, you're now getting away while they're focusing on the clone of you. So it's very interesting. This is definitely a more defensive one. On the cat contract side, it is a little bit more offensive, because the Tomcat Spirit clone will constantly be using Tomcat's Claw and Devastating Shock. So if you're in a fight and you're not, you know, you don't think you're going to have to retreat or, you know, use this defensively in any way, this is actually something that you can pop early on in a fight that you know you're going to be engaged with for a little while, and this will give you a decent amount of little bit of damage increase, because you essentially now have a clone that's out there doing damage too, along with all the stuff you're normally doing in your rotation. So that's the 2 important distinctions with the 3rd skill and everything that you have. So 4th skill on each side, let's go ahead and talk about that since it's right here. This is a big old chunky amount of damage, and it's got the 90-second cooldown, which is super long, and it uses a lot of mental energy. So it is very, it's not as beneficial to invest heavily in getting this cooldown down. But when you're in your Tomcat Spirit form, all of your magic damage is increased by 30%. So this is your form where you're really putting out your DPS. It's interesting to try and have to go between them. Let me go ahead and go into one of these here, so that I can, if we just go into training, everything's going to die too quickly for me to be able to kind of show you how some of this stuff can be best utilized. So let's go ahead and turn off follow. Please let me turn off follow. Okay, there we go. So when you switch into this form to start getting back, you always want to pop this, okay? Before changing back into Tomcat form, you want to pop this again before switching, because now your Tomcat form is increasing the damage and AoE of that chain by that 20-30%. I can't remember which it is off the top of my head. We can see as just normal attacking in this mode, we're losing mental energy. So you really have to try and balance doing the most damage that you can while being able to switch back and get that energy back. Important thing with the big skill on this side is this regenerates mental energy. You could have no mental energy, pop into this mode. If this skill's off cooldown, use that. You will be at full energy again. Throw your chain back up on something and everything's dead, so I can't show you that. And then switch back into Tomcat form and you're going to be doing more damage. It's a really, really fun class. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Oh, that big chunk of damage coming. There it is. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. But really, you're just trying to keep an eye on your mental energy while you're doing DPS. In PvE, you're not really going to have to worry too much about your second skill, because that's just the teleport that moves you around. It's a great teleport. It's on a very short cooldown. It can be used during CC. So it is amazing in PvP. And of course, when you're completely out of mental energy, you should be switching back to your Raven form. When you just let it auto, it will not, use double chains in the rotation. So that is one of the things that I do recommend if you're going to be playing manually. I definitely recommend you do that because you do get more damage out of it. And it's not something that you can change the attack order and make the character achieve. If that makes any sense. So, see if there's anything else really specific. Oh, okay, yeah. Woo! Baby, we were about to miss a few things. So, talents, I still don't have a super, this is absolutely the best. Obviously, I was going for more of a CDR build. If we look at the article that Yujia pulled some information from on the CN side, we can see what their recommended talents are. See if we can make this a bigger screen. No, but we can at least go in here. Switch over to this bad boy. Oh, I'm in combat. It won't let me. So we can see the icons here. If we look them up and cross-reference them over here, extra magic damage increased by Tomcat skills is raised by 45% of the original 30%. Oh, gross. Gross. Okay, yeah, so that is the very clear winner there. For the B talent, they're rocking this one right here. When releasing Tomcat's Kiss skill, Tomcat's Claw, natural attack will not consume mental energy. Okay, that's a pretty big one. Damage is also increased. Okay, so this is again more just eking more damage out of your Tomcat form, which is where your highest damage limit is possible in that class. So that makes a lot of sense. Level A skill, we're going with Crow of Shadow. When releasing Raven Shadow, you'll become invisible for 3 seconds. This is more defensive. I actually might not use that. Just because I think the Chain of Nightmare is underutilized in my opinion, because even some of the stuff I've seen haven't mentioned, making sure you immediately pop chain and then a pop chain again before switching into Tomcat. And I do I do 6k with my normal chain, and then if I hit chain and then go into my Tomcat form, doing about 8.5 to 9k damage. So it's a nice little bump. So this just gives more utility to the chain. The fact that you're getting health back and everything is really nice. Definitely probably going to be better for you in PvP for sure. And this is, one of my favorite things about the assassin in PvP is the fact that they can turn invisible, so I'm not going to say that this doesn't have its place in PvP. I'd have a hard time understanding why this would be getting used in PvE, just because this just buffs one of the, strongest skills in Raven form. So that's a little confusing to Petty, but y'all are adults, you can make your own decision there. And then for their S talents, which I definitely don't have unlocked on the CN side, I'm like, I have 50,000 rating. How am I supposed to clear Doom 4? It's just not going to happen until I make a CN friend. So if you're on CN server 1 and you want to help your boy, let me know in the future Discord. All right, so at level S, or sorry, the talent S that they're going with right here is Tomcat's Tango. After you switch from Raven Spirit to Cat form via Tomcat Spirit connection for 5 seconds, all skills will not consume mental energy and will inflict 15% more damage. So that's definitely big if you are fighting, you know, a large crowd and you know that you're about to that your Scythe skill is off cooldown. Or is it right here? Yeah, Absolute Scythe. If that's off cooldown, you definitely want to be popping that right away to get that bonus 15% damage. That is just gross. And then as far as talents go, those actually have kind of set up already. So again, here with the rest of the stuff that we've been talking about, how you want to balance and look for more damage stats because you get more from doing more damage in Tomcat form. And the talents, it's not very surprising. We're going down the Tomcat. First one, this is just increasing hit rating. This isn't all that important, but because it's chained to the skills where we're getting more damage from our Scythe abilities, it starts becoming a little bit important. Yujia actually has some translations up for this right now, which is awesome. So on the CN side, this guy went with some that I probably wouldn't have picked up. So he goes fully into Sly, Quick Wit, Melt, High Energy, and then Sharpen Claw. And then the CN side's high enough level that I think they should be able to pick up this talent too. So I don't know why they don't go for this instead of, you know, grabbing something like the increased speed. So that's a little bit confusing to me. I would think if you're trying to optimize for damage that you would eventually be, you know, going for this one. But they just invest really heavily all the way in that tree. But since all of us on the global side only have a handful of talents right now anyways, just going down this middle should be your main priority. And then I would grab this skill over this one if you have that many talent points, which you go, boo. You go. Also, please don't kill Patty. I don't want to fight you in PvP. Not if you have that many. Alright, I think that for the most part covers everything that I wanted to touch on. So again, just a few things if you guys, you know, weren't aware. Your Raven skills and your Cat skills do not share a cooldown, so if we use, you know, the level 90 skill on this side and then immediately switch over, we still have this one available to us. So it's a really fun class. The mobility that these guys have with all these teleports is just ridiculous. Oh, another thing that I didn't really hammer home. You would think with a Scythe class it would be a melee. No, all of these are ranged attacks. You can see things flying off from the Scythe. So you don't have to be right up on nothing for this class. Once we actually get it out on global, I'm definitely going to unlock it on my main because I have the damage core for it apparently. And I'm gonna try and do like a more in-depth PvP guide because I think a lot of these guys' utility and uniqueness is going to come through and shine in PvP, and it's not something that I can easily capture. So we'll do a follow-up one on that. But I appreciate you guys' faces. Thank you so much for stopping by today. Hope you learned some useful information for the Scythe class. If you did, you know, hit subscribe for your boy. And then yeah, keep an eye out for the Discord coming later today. And yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. You're going to have to catch your boy in the next one because we out of here. Deuces.